Welcome to Refactored M365 Unlocked, where I help you get the most out of your Microsoft 365 applications. So we all create lots of files every day, whether it is a Word document or perhaps an Excel spreadsheet, a PowerPoint presentation, etc. We create something and we need to store it somewhere. We need to save it. Well, there are options. You can store it locally on your computer, your laptop. You can put it in a shared server. If you're working maybe in a business with a local data center or perhaps some server hardware on site at this organization. And finally, you've got cloud storage, which is accessible over the internet. And this third solution is what we're going to be focusing on for this particular lesson. Now, there are many potential solutions here for cloud storage, but we're going to look at two from Microsoft as part of the M365 suite of products. The first up is OneDrive. This is Microsoft's offering for personal file storage. So some examples of this would be maybe writing a rough draft of a report that you aren't ready for anyone to see yet. You want to save that just for yourself to access. Or perhaps an employee review that needs to stay confidential and you don't want to share that with another individual. So OneDrive, as it says in the name, is really for one person or a single individual. There are some options to share files with other people within OneDrive, but in general, OneDrive is meant for just a single person. Then you have SharePoint, which is more of a business product. This is really meant for team collaboration and a place where others can view files in a shared workspace. You can set permissions so that only certain groups of users can access these files if you like. Perhaps an HR department in the organization would need to have very specific and secure access set for their files, obviously. Whereas a project that is being worked on by several team members across multiple departments, that would need to have fewer permissions set. But regardless, these are the two solutions, OneDrive and SharePoint. And we're going to get into some demos here so you can see the differences. And more importantly, when you are creating documents, where do you save these files? How do you make the right choice? Hopefully this explanation helps here, but to me, it's better to see the demo in the real world. So let's take a look at that now. So I've got my document here that I want to save, and I'm going to go up to the File menu and click Save As. And you're going to see three different options that I want to discuss. The first would be this PC, as we have talked about earlier in this video. So I could save that locally if I wanted to have complete control over it, although I am giving up some of the flexibility of a cloud service because if something happens to my laptop, then that file is gone forever unless I've backed it up to another drive. So the other two options are I can have my OneDrive folder here where I've got my refactored OneDrive location. If I save it here, it will have it on the OneDrive cloud service that I have access to both on my desktop or a mobile device or really any computer. Any way I can access a web browser, I will have access to that OneDrive file. And then I've also got some other options down here. You can see quick access, but if you have a SharePoint site that has been set up for your organization, this is likely where you will see it. And I've got several options that I can click on, but this is my refactored demo site where I have created a SharePoint location, and I'll show you that in a minute. But these will have different folders that I can select for different projects or a general page where I can save these types of documents. So this is where you would save documents that you want to share with other people, where you can have team collaboration. So for example, I can save this template demo into this project team 1 folder, which I'm going to do now. And then once I go to the SharePoint site here, I'll show you where I can access that and collaborate with other people on the team. So this is my SharePoint site that has been created for the purposes of this demo, and it looks like any other typical intranet location, and it's got various widgets. I can add graphics or a welcome message, and I've also got these widgets down here where I can add access to resources. This all comes from the built-in templates within SharePoint, but you can customize and modify your own however you want to do it. But you can see here a very familiar looking site, which is the Documents folder. So while it can be a little confusing that SharePoint is both an intranet location and a file repository, this makes it it really convenient if I wanted to add a shortcut or a location or a widget to my SharePoint site for a home page, and then I can go into this project team 1 where I saved my demo from the previous section. And so all kinds of different little widgets, places where I can add, but the main thing that you can focus on for this particular site is the access to the documents where I have saved my Word document. That is also available if you click on this side menu. You'll see the familiar file structure. So this is all contained within SharePoint. So now let's look over at OneDrive. And very similar situation where I have access to my OneDrive files. I can access my personal files if I wanted to, or I could just go straight to this demo environment where I have my SharePoint documents also saved. But from this OneDrive location, if I click Home, I'll have all of my documents, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, etc. All this is available to me, and it is my personal storage. You can use personal storage if you are in a business where it's more of a corporate type setting, you're saving your work documents, or you can have a personal storage subscription within Microsoft 365 to be able to have your own home files, or maybe you're sharing with family members different types of documents or schedules or things like that. So this is a very quick demo of both SharePoint and OneDrive, and hopefully from this video you can understand the different situations and scenarios where you would want to save documents for either for personal storage or for team collaboration within SharePoint.